and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah, this is Jar of Fireflies, and here you will find content all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of three. And today we're getting ready for Shabbat. Okay, so today's been a little bit of a different week for us. The kids and I were camping almost the entire week, and we're all back home together now, which is fantastic. And tonight begins Shabbat. Now, we are also going out to lunch this Shabbat. So we don't have to worry about cooking that lunch meal at all, which makes today a lot easier. The only thing that we need to cook is the fish for Shabbat, and my husband is in there finishing that up right now. So we're pretty much done. And it's like 9 a.m., if even. I don't know, but we do still have plenty to do today. I still have a lot of cleaning up to do around the house. There's been like a lot of catch up with housework and stuff just because we haven't been here all week. The laundry, of course, did not stop just because we were camping. And we have to go off later today and deliver some Girl Scout cookies. My daughter is wrapping up her Girl Scout cookie sales. She just has a few boxes left. We're off delivering those today. And my son really wanted to make dessert for tonight, so that will be included later also. Other than that, who knows what the day will bring, but let's go ahead and go get it started. Okay, so we went ahead and came out to start delivering the Girl Scout cookies that my daughter needs to deliver today so that we can get that done and be done with Girl Scout cookies for the year. It has been a fun adventure. So that's what we're up to now. We're gonna be doing this here for, I don't know, maybe the next hour or so, and then back home to work on cleanup in the kitchen and all of that jazz. She really enjoyed selling Girl Scout cookies this year. She's having a blast here in her first year of Girl Scouts, as all of the patches on the back of her uniform can attest to. But it was nice for me to go ahead and get this cookies done today so that we can officially close that chapter in our Girl Scouting first year and go back to focusing on badges. Okay, we are back home now from delivering Girl Scout cookies, and it's about lunchtime, at least for an early lunch, like around 11 something. So I'm throwing together some chicken on a stick for the kids because who doesn't love eating off a stick? All right, let's do this. Okay, so I started out by just grabbing all of my supplies, which was so simple. I've got some boneless chicken thighs, which I had already cleaned up yesterday, some sauce, which I'll show you guys momentarily, and some wooden sticks for grilling. I'm not going to be firing up the grill. I did fire up the oven. I put the oven on 350 and then began cutting the chicken into chunks. After I had the chicken cut up into chunks, I grabbed a wooden skewer and just started to slide the chicken on. I continued this until all the chicken was on skewers. Then I placed the skewers side by side on a baking tray that I had lined with parchment paper. And now for the sauce. I am using Melinda's Sweet Thai chili sauce and just squeezing a line on top of each skewer of chicken, and then I will rub that all onto the chicken and then top it with another line of sauce. This would probably be better if I marinated the chicken in the sauce first, but this also works. And I didn't think about making this for lunch until, I don't know, about a minute before I started filming. So there you go. This sauce, by the way, is definitely more sweet than spicy. My kids don't think it's spicy at all. It's a lovely sweet flavor. All right, so I just grabbed that tray, put it in the oven, set the timer for 20 minutes. Okay, so since that was set for 20 minutes in the oven, that gave me 20 minutes to clean up the table and get ready for the rest of lunch. To go with the chicken, I decided to grab an apple and slice that up and split that between the kids. And then I added a few tortilla chips to each plate. We haven't had those in a while, and my kids do love tortilla chips. And then as a treat, a little gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate cookie. Right around the time that I had finished all of that, the chicken came out of the oven, so I added a skewer to each kid's plate, and they enjoyed their lunch. After lunch, I decided to stop procrastinating and go ahead and clean up the kitchen. Since I was done cooking and my husband was done cooking, this was really the time, especially since we knew we wanted to make that cobbler later on. So I just started the basic, putting dishes away and all that jazz. I really was still quite a bit tired from the week at the camp out. I know that I got a little dehydrated out there because I don't drink as much when I'm camping as I should. And of course, I'm not sleeping as well because tent, 3 children, scared of the dark, things like that, but that's okay. I'm really at this point looking forward to a very restful Shabbat after that week of being away from my husband and camping out in the woods and running around and hiking and just everything that this week was, which was wonderful and fantastic and amazing, but also a little exhausting and tiring. So the Shabbat I know is going to be just extra sweet because of that. The camping trip, by the way, was an absolute blast. We went with several families that were in our nature group, so just a bunch of other homeschooling families, and we all had campsites nearby each other. It was a more primitive camping than we normally do, so we had running water at the campsite, but we did not have electricity, and we just had our tents and our fire pits, and it was a lot of fun, and it was there at a really pretty lake out in the piney woods of East Texas, which is just a very gorgeous part of Texas, very green and different wildlife. The kids did a lot of playing in the woods. We went on hikes every day around the lake and up this mountain view trail, and it was just a blast. It was so much fun to just hang out with the other moms and dads and just to, watch the kids playing and having fun in the woods and cooking over a fire and all those things that I love to do. And just being out in nature like that for so many days definitely helped me just relax and rejuvenate myself and come back a better person. So I had already done a lot of the laundry and cleanup and putting things away yesterday, but there was still just a little bit more laundry because there is always laundry to be done. And I had one more sleeping bag that needed to be put away. This one got dirty at the campsite, so I had to wash it and I had it laid out to dry. So this was the last thing from our camping trip that I needed to put away. And then the camping trip was really over. Kind of bittersweet, I guess, because I am very glad to be home. And yeah, speaking of laundry, let's put some laundry away. Can we talk about putting away fitted sheets here for a second? Every time I pull out a fitted sheet like this one, I have these great intentions of folding it the quote unquote right way. And by the end, I just kind of roll it up till it's sort of in a shape that will fit on a shelf. And that's the end of it. Am I alone in this, or do people actually fold fitted sheets the way you're supposed to fold fitted sheets? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And now it's time to make that cobbler. And in true homeschooler fashion, my son is still in his pajamas. It's like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. So we had found a recipe online that I just sort of modified a little bit to make it smaller because we only had one can of pie filling. And he just kind of got after it, putting all the ingredients together. My son loves to cook. Any kind of cooking or baking, he is totally into it. And I love that. And I really want to help him develop this love for cooking and all things food preparation. So as a homeschool mom especially, cooking is such a wonderful thing. It's got science and math and of course life skills. So yeah, anytime he wants to cook, I love to get him involved. And especially for Shabbat preparation cooking, that's a double bonus because then he is also preparing for Shabbat. He's helping the family to prepare for Shabbat. Here is the recipe that we were going by. This was what I altered and wrote down from the recipe I found online. So that is for a gluten-free, dairy-free peach cobbler. And you can just screenshot that one part there where I was holding up the recipe to know what we were doing. Okay, so we are winding down on this cobbler. He is almost finished, and this started to really crack me up. He is clearly my child. Whenever I'm making anything, I like all the ingredients to be very even throughout the dish, and here you can see he's trying to fill in all of the little holes. So that kind of made my heart happy that he took after me in that aspect. It's always fun to see the kids take after me in little ways, especially because they don't look as much like me as they do like my husband. But anyhow, there we are, putting the cobbler in the oven. Quick high five, and he's very excited. And there we go, the finished product about 45 minutes later coming out of the oven. It looks and smells amazing. He was so proud. Okay, and now it's time to get myself ready for Shabbat. Step one, find something nicer to wear. So I went over to the little section of my closet where I've got about 4 dresses that I like to wear on Shabbat, and I picked one out and hung it up. Then I got the shower water started so that could warm up, and then I went over to the sink to wash my face. Now, the reason that I'm washing my face is because since I was filming today, I did have a little bit of makeup on, and I wanted to go ahead and take that off. There's no prohibition about wearing makeup on Shabbat. I could absolutely wear makeup on Shabbat. The problem comes with taking it off. I wouldn't be able to take it off on Shabbat. Personally, I am very uncomfortable sleeping in makeup. I'm kind of uncomfortable in makeup during the day. So yeah, at night, that would just feel kind of gross to me. I just don't like it personally. I know plenty of women that do wear makeup all Shabbat, and there's always conversations about, well, which lipstick will last all through Shabbat and things like that. And that's great, but that's just not what I do. I choose to just not wear any makeup on Shabbat. So that's why I'm washing my face to take that off. Okay, now I've had a shower to clean up after all of the work that I did today, or didn't, because I feel like I didn't do that much today. But anyhow, so now I am applying lotion to my face. Normally I do this right before I go to bed, but as with taking off makeup, we are not allowed to apply makeup or lotions on Shabbat. So I'm going ahead and doing that now before Shabbat starts. Keeping with my nightly routine, but just a little bit out of order for Friday nights. For anyone who is interested, I am using an Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream. It is fragrant free, and I really like this one. I do change it up a lot. I have about 5 different face lotions, and I use a different one all the time, but I probably use this one the most often. I really do like the way this one feels on my skin. And last but not least, chapstick. This is just a random lip balm that came in some kind of a goodie bag, but kind of like the lotion, we also can't put chapstick on Shabbat. So I'm putting that on now. Okay, one more Shabbat tidbit before I leave you today. This is a light switch cover. It's just a little plastic cover with magnets that line up to the screws on a light switch plate. So this helps us to not accidentally bump a light switch and turn it on or off on Shabbat. And it also makes it a little bit easier for us not to forget, because yeah, we do forget about turning on and off lights on Shabbat sometimes. So this is just a nice little precaution that helps us with that. So we have these on most of the light switches in our house. We set them out a little bit before Shabbat, sometime on Friday afternoon. My husband had already done these for us. And finally, it's getting the table ready for Shabbat, one of my favorite jobs. Hey, if you have been enjoying this video, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. It is really starting to feel like Shabbat around here, and I am happy and ready for rest. And there we go. Shabbat is almost here. I probably have about 15-20 minutes to hang out with the kids and relax a little bit more before we light our candles. But I'll go ahead and call the video a close here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload.